Okay. So, whoa, we're already going in the ocean. Okay, we're already moving. So we're here and we're doing channel sessions. So Eve's here with me, and my name is Elaine, and I am a seer, and we're doing channeled sessions from source. So what does that mean? As a seer, it's different than a psychic and a medium because a seer sees from the eyes of the divine. So we're bringing in the information from unconditional love, from source, from the divine. Divine presence is Eckhart Tolle's word, but we're going through the heart. So the heart can never be interfered with because it is a lot of consciousness. It's at least 500 on the consciousness scale of Dr. Hawkins' consciousness scale. So all the work that we do is not up and out of our bodies, it's through the heart and then connected to the divine. And then the clearer we get a connection, the more precise the information comes through. And Eve's here with me, and I worked as a designer in film for 20 years. And Eve is a designer as well. So we're both artists, and our hearts connect. We speak the same language. So energetically, we speak the same language, and also in terms of design and aesthetics. So Eve is going to help me because when I channel, I close my eyes. So you're going to see me with my eyes closed, but Eve's eyes are going to be open, and she's also the one that's going to be receiving your questions and then saying the questions to me. And then when I channel, sometimes the answers take a while to come through because I'm listening. So how I see everything is like a movie. So I'll see the whole thing and I'll feel it in my body. So this work, we're connecting to Gaia and connecting right to the divine through our hearts, but also connecting to Gaia's crystalline grid. And that's really important so that the information is grounded into the crystalline grid. Gaia is 7, 8, 9 dimension. Earth is 1, 2, 3, and then Tara is 4, 5, 6, right? So lots of us are kind of going into the different dimensions. We're doing lots of detoxing, lots of awakenings, like personal awakenings. And I always say that I'm not really, the word spiritual kind of bothers me because it's usually it was out of the crown and then kind of siphoning from the crown. But this work is through the heart and then connected to the crystalline grid of Gaia. So it is very grounded, and that is very important. So there's no false light or false energies or low vibrations. They're not allowed in this space because we're going through the heart, which is 500 consciousness, which is a lot of consciousness on Earth. Okay. And then that's it. So Eve's going to ask the questions. I'm going to close my eyes and then I'll get the answers, but from the divine. And are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good day, everyone. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Let's start.
I think.
First question is Alana. It's 1994. Question is, in both my career and my personal life, what feels more aligned right now, giving a chance or letting go?
Okay, so just checking. So how it looks for me is like I'm connecting with my higher self, what Eckhart Tolle calls the deep eye through the heart, and then connecting to the divine. And then how it looks for me is I'm connecting with Elena's higher self. So we're looking. Um, so let's see. Okay. So can you just repeat the question again?
In both my career and my personal life, what feels more aligned right now, given a chance or letting go?
Okay, so let's look at Elena's career first. So let's look at her career. So is Elena aligned with her career, or should she let go and do something else? Okay. Let's see. It looks like it looks like for Elena, letting go isn't easy. So that's the first thing. So we're seeing that it isn't easy for Elena to let go. Um, so what would she need to in order to kind of prepare? So we're always looking, okay, how do you prepare the nervous system, right? So letting go, it's the nervous system usually reacts and is like in a panic. So how to be calm in these transitions. So how would Elena feel to be calm in order to make the changes that she's asking for? So she's not asking, she's asking her higher self, the deep eye through the heart, and then connected to the divine for help. So so we're just working on her nervous system right now. So we're just going to calm her nervous system. So what lots of people are receiving right now is like from the healing teams, um, they'll put like a kind of like a gold light on the nervous system at the base of the skull. So the atlas point at the base of the skull and then down the spine. So they're gonna put like, she's wanting all these changes. So first of all, they're just gonna calm her nervous system. So we're always looking for the still point and that pure consciousness. So she's wobbly. We're seeing she's wobbly. So we're going to just help her in her alignment. And then usually we try to help the body to be able to receive. So we're just helping her body to receive these changes. So just aligning the body. So that's the spine and then all of the energy centers. So some people call them chakras, but they're the energy centers. And so they're supposed to be spinning. So we're seeing like a stagnation and it's usually the first three. So the root is the first one, and then the sacral is the second one at the kind of 2 inches below the belly button. And then the power center is where the ribs meet. So that's the yellow, the third one, which is the solar plexus. So I usually call them 1, 2, 3. So the sacral is the one that is stagnant. So those two questions, the questions of career, which is relationships, and personal life are connected. So we're going to that area first to kind of calm that area. So it's a very agitated right now and very like upset. Kind of the word that came through is kind of hysterical. So we're going to calm that area and get the energy flowing because any of the changes without that inner stability with the body, they will kind of decenter anybody. So not just Alina, but anybody. So we're just aligning everything, aligning all the energy centers. They're working a bit also on her third eye, so opening so that she sees things clearly. Because ultimately, we want everyone to be able to do this for themselves, to be able to scan their bodies, see their energy centers, and then connecting through the heart to their higher self. So energy work is so that you learn to do this for yourself, but we're here to support. We're here to help. Okay, that's good. So deep breath in and out. So she's getting there. So it's starting to move. What we're seeing is like looked like a rock was stuck like in the spokes of a bicycle. And it's like she's in shock, because there's all these changes to do all these changes at once. She just kind of froze. And that happens with the nervous system. So the freeze, fawn, I think, and freeze, fawn. Anyways, she froze. Um, so there, we're just opening the heart now. So we're just opening the heart, so opening the heart. And we always do this in the most gentle way, right? So we're not here to shock. And there's all lots of that around, the shocking of the nervous system. So we're just like very gently opening her heart, like very, and this is just energy work, right? And all healing is self-healing because you have to say yes to the healing. So we're just opening her heart and just very gently opening her heart, like almost like little soft little pillows around her heart. So she's had a lot of shocks in her life. Um, and then now we're just going to breathe with her so that she feels what that feels like. And then breathe in and then breathe out. So at the same time, we're working on her heart and we're working on her sacral and her nervous system. And then also releasing very gently from the heart because we don't want to create any more shocks. We're here to help. So we want to be very gentle and very honoring with this process. You know, she's done very well. She's had so many challenges and she's very strong and a very clear person. So we really want to honor her path and then be of service. So just working on the heart a bit more. And then it's hard to trust, right? So we can feel her solar plexus, the third chakra, the yellow. That's your power center. We can feel that it's wobbly, like, can I trust? Can I trust? And we're saying, you know, say yes, but say yes if it is for your highest and greatest good. And then you can trust. Because if it is for your highest and greatest good, then it cannot interfere with who you are. It can't interfere with your higher self, with the divine. So if there's somebody that says, well, I know the answer, that's not the answer. Okay. So it has to be, you have all the consciousness and awakening inside of you to to receive from the divine. So just right now we're just working on the heart, we're working on the nervous system, and then we're working on her the sacral. So the sacral, the second energy center is orange. So that's relationships and communication, and which kind of covers both. Like her question was about career and her question was about relationships. So first, what we're doing is stabilizing Elena so she feels stable in her nervous system and her body, and then connecting her to the crystalline grid, because then she can manifest anything she wants. Once the alignment is there, and then once she's connected to the crystalline grid of Gaia, which is a high vibration of Earth, so 7, 8, 9 density. So we're just working on her third eye a little bit and opening it gently. So she's afraid to see for herself. That's normal. So that happens. Or yeah, it's not normal, but it happens a lot. So we're just aligning her, like we're really showing the body, this is the alignment. This from the lowest part of the spine to the hips to the crown, the top of the head, this is the alignment. So we're working on her alignment, and then all her answers will come easily because they're coming from a calm nervous system and an open heart. So we're still working on her heart. So we're releasing as much as we can that is interfering with her heart. So sometimes we don't even really know what we're holding on to, but we're releasing. Okay, so now we're just moving into her present life, the present life now, and just looking at her career, and where she is. It feels like it hurts her heart. So whatever she's doing right now, it hurts her heart. It's right away there's like a restriction, and that she's got to kind of like hold on. Um, like brace herself, like it's so tense. It's so intense. It's not the right vibration for her. It's like it's holding her back, and she's got to block her heart in order to do what she's doing now. So when we look at everything now, we're looking kind of scanning, um, and looking for what we're going to do now is we're going to bring opportunities to her that are in alignment with her natural state of being. So she has like a fire in her. She does have energy, but we want her to have that calm nervous system as well, and then connected to the crystalline grid. And then anything can manifest from that. So we're going to bring her opportunities. So basically, once we have the alignment, it's easier to receive. And then we're going to receive from the heart. So it's going to be a heart-based opportunities will come to her. And then now we're working on her second chakra energy center to be able to receive it. So there we go. Okay, she's starting because we have to say yes, yes to receiving, yes to the changes, and yes to believing that it's possible. So, yes, I believe it is possible. Yes, I want this change. Yes, I want something that is aligned with my heart. So that's manifesting, but we're manifesting from the crystalline grid for Elena. So we're inviting her to connect with the crystalline grid, and her higher self is with her, and then through the heart to bring the opportunities that she needs. So basically, we've opened the gateways. So, but we've opened the gateways to the divine, to consciousness. So breathing in and breathing out, and then staying in alignment. And we're feeling she's getting stronger with her third eye. So, what is the third eye? For Elena and for anybody, it's being able to see things as they are and not the way you've been told to see them. So when we're little, we see everything. Our eyes are open, our third eye is open, all our energy centers are aligned. And depending on the environment of childhood, we may keep that consciousness till about 7 or younger. So the longer that you keep the consciousness, the more the energy centers are flowing. So we're looking, so this hand is stabilizing Alina's present life now, and then this life, and then in this life, and then this hand is doing the energy work and clearing of the heart, but we're clearing in all time spaces. So now when we're connecting to Gaia, to 7, 8, 9 dimension, we're clearing for all time spaces. And it's always from free will, from choice, right? So Elena asked for the healing, and then we're always looking, well, what is the root cause? And then how can we clear, how can we create a clear pathway and also open the gateway? So opening the gateway to the divine. So just or opening her hips to feel the stability. The hips are connected with the first 3 chakras, and that's for the men and women or however you identify, but that just releasing any excess energy that Elena doesn't need right now. So when we looked at her career, it really hurts her heart. And then we worked on the heart, and then we worked on balancing all of the energy centers. And we want basically for her to have a flow. So she'll feel a bit of intensity right now in her third eye. It can be quite intense to open the third eye after it's never totally closed. So opening it more to kind of like the natural, the original blueprint of the human being of the human being body is meant to have these energy centers. They're like gateways into the divine, and they're meant to be spinning kind of like a spiral. They're meant to be spinning and balanced. So just breathing, giving her lots of source light. And we want to say not the false white light, source light, source love, love without any conditions. So that's the original love, is a love without conditions, and that's where we work from. Okay, so we're just aligning her system, and it seems like it's taking a long time, but think of how long Elena has had this way of being. So just calming everything down now. So everything's aligned and we're just calming everything down. We're bringing in like a violet light just to anchor and just kind of soothe everything. Because these adjustments, they're energetic, like, in the ether, so they're, so we use sound a lot and we use light. So right now we're using like a violety purple violet. It's kind of a mix between purple and blue, so like a violet color. That's kind of the color of the third eye, is kind of like a indigo, purpley blue kind of color. So we're just opening the third eye more with color now so that she can feel like, oh, I can see, I know what to do. Oh, I know, I can see these opportunities coming. So we're bringing lots of opportunities for her, and we're seeing that she's going to have three things that she can choose from. So we're bringing the opportunities to her, but we're aligning her so that she can say yes and receive these opportunities. So how it would look is almost like she's timeline jumping, right? So think of like the big jump you'd have to take from 3D to 4D to 5D. So, but we're aligning her because she can, connecting her with 5D. Um, so bringing opportunities to her and then aligning her system to be able to receive them, and then anchoring in Gaia and the crystalline grid, which is the fastest way to manifest. So what we're seeing is we're just taking Elena, with her higher self, and we're just laying her down in the crystalline grid so she can feel relaxed and like the best vacation she's ever felt. So she's just leaning back into the crystalline grid. And then you can breathe. And then we're in the alignment. So beautiful. So she's good. She's doing it. Okay. And then we want to look at her relationship, and this present life was the second question. So the first one was with career. So with career, we said whatever she's doing now is really blocking her heart. It's not the right fit. So we're bringing new opportunities, at least three, to her, and then she has her alignment, and her nervous system will be able to receive those new opportunities. And then her third eye is opening, not completely open, but opening. So she will be able, but we're going to keep the violet light with her, and then the violet light will keep working with her. Yeah, she did really well. This is a huge shift. This is like she's gonna feel like, a baby. She'll feel like she's totally refreshed and renewed. This will be really beautiful. And then just checking in her alignment. So her alignment is good. And then just looking, it feels like the partner that she's with, the person she's with, it really like it's hard for her to look at the relationship, and it hurts her neck, and it hurts her neck. So what we're seeing is that she's kind of clenching and then looking away. It's like she doesn't want to look at it, but since she's asking, of course, then she is ready to look at it. So we're saying that this is what she looks like with her relationship. she's tensing and she's looking away from the person. Um, and it hurts her low part of her hip on the right side of her body. So we know that this is a present life connection in this life now. So it it destabilizes her. So she doesn't feel stable with this partner, and she feels exhausted with this partner, and she can't handle it anymore. Like it's literally like, she has like shoulder pain and neck pain. And it's because she doesn't want to, she knows if she looks, so I see, I can't even move my neck. So she knows if she looks, she's going to see. And then she knows if she sees, then she has to do something. So she doesn't want to look, but this is what her head and her neck are doing right now. So she doesn't want to see, but it's also affecting her stability. So it's affecting the low part of the spine, the lowest part of the spine on the right side. So also the hip, which would also be like the pelvis in the front. So we're like straightening her up because we're like, okay, but we're going to look at it now. So he's good. I mean, he's a good person. He's fuzzy, which means he's got so much on his mind all the time. Like he's like a racing, like in his mind, but not the mind of the third eye. It's the mind, like the conscious mind, like the ego, the conscious mind. Not that he's egotistical, maybe he is a bit, but he's more like a racing in his mind all the time. And it doesn't stop thinking. He's thinking, 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 and then everything else is not happening. So he's all just thinking. So she's like, imagine, okay, so if you're just thinking, you look like this, like a like a rectangle. Okay, you look like a rectangle, but really you're supposed to be like a like in alignment, like a line, like a vertical line, and then you go horizontal and then you spin, so that's kind of the natural state of being. But it's like, right away, it's like we can feel the intensity in the mind. It's not the third eye, it's the mind. The answers are not gonna come from the mind. The mind cannot perceive anything except for, if you want all the answers to be teeny tiny and squished, then ask the mind. Right? If you want consciousness to answer your questions, well, consciousness is through the heart and then to divine, to source, the all, then you have the big view of the answers. But the mind is like a narrow little rectangular box, and it's gray and fuzzy is what it looks like to us. It's like static. It's like that's what it looks like to us. It's like a very tiny space. It's actually, we know he's in a lot of pain because it is a lot. It's very painful as a human being. If you don't have all of your systems on, we know it's very painful for him to be in this tiny rectangular box. Um, but we can feel his stress. We can feel the stress in his body. Um, but we wouldn't even say his nervous system is vibrating because it's like he's not really connected. He's kind of like a mind in a box, like a rectangular box. So it's like, okay, well, how would that be to have a relationship where you're now all aligned, and then your relationship is with like a rectangular box with a lot of static, right? Person's not gonna, they can't see themselves, and so they're not gonna see you. So we never tell anybody what to do because, Earth is free will, and then also too, there's learning and lessons. So if you're wanting a heart to heart connection, it's going to be very hard to have a heart and heart connection to somebody that is mostly identified pretty much with the mind. So we've aligned Elena, her whole system and her heart, opening her heart slowly and also opening her third eye slowly. The violet light is doing that. And then in terms of the partner, we're seeing, she's doing this. So she doesn't want to see, um, but she's asking, so she does want to see. So that's what we're always looking at. Her body is saying one thing, her heart is saying another thing, and then her experience is making her do this with her neck and her head to one side. So she knows that she can see. So to us, she's a seer. So she can see. So we know she can see. So, but do you choose to see? Um, Today's date is the 21st of December. So there's an opening. So right now with Eve and Elaine, like there's an opening of consciousness, like a big portal to the divine. So we're just showing Elena that, if she chooses, she can open that more. It's her natural state of being. It would be very stressful for her to not do this in this life, to open up and actualize her whole system. So we're saying that the relationship for her is very stressful and it really kind of knocks her out. So, we're going to send, um, well, we're going to use a word. We don't know. This isn't religious at all. Not at all. It's not even spiritual. It's energy. It's consciousness. But we're going to send both of them blessings and source light, um, and then just release them so that they they will have like this bubble of kind of golden light around them, which then, transformations that happen from that golden light from source are very organic and very gentle because it's always for your highest and greatest good. So I think we will end with Elena, and thank you for asking for questions and answers, but we're going to release them now to source and then put a golden bubble around them. And then they'll continue, if Alina chooses, to bring in the violet light to work on her third eye and her heart in all time spaces. Because sometimes the present relationship is a reflection of another time space, and it's more like a lesson that needs to become conscious. So we're just going to release them both, but put them in like a bubble of source gold and white light, more golden light. Let's just say golden light. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. So we'll clear Elena and her higher self and the partner and the higher self and all the team that comes with them, because of course they have lots of guides that are with them. So we're seeing all the guides are lined up wanting this support and help for both of them. So we're just going to clear them all in the field and thank them all with much love and much thanks for coming forward. It's always beautiful seeing all of them come in. So we have way more help than we can even imagine. So we're saying goodbye to all her guides and all the angels of unconditional love that have stepped forward. So those would be her guides and guardians. Yeah. Yeah, she has one guardian that wants to step forward to just say that he's there. It's almost like it looks like an ancient kind of male with like long kind of white hair, and he has like a wooden kind of is like a stick with like a kind of a hook, and then he's kind of like has this robe, and he really wants to be there and say that he's there for her to really help her with her third eye and her heart, and he's going to stand guard for her. And he just wanted us to acknowledge him, but also to give the message to Elena that he's actually her guardian right now and he is standing guard with her. So he will be there with her for as long as she wants. And he is a guardian of unconditional love. He is only for Elena's highest and best good. So, so thank you. And then, yeah, he's got that big kind of wooden stick with a hook. And he's very tall, thin, but like robe, kind of like a blue robe. So he's very protective, very wise, ancient, wise protector. Um, and he's there with her to help her integrate these changes. All right, thank you. Okay,
Uh,
thanks,
th-
Eve.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you for explanation and connection. It was like so complete. Next question. Uh, if I haven't been able to get pregnant for a year, should I consider trying EVF, in vitro fertilization? It's Irina, 1985.
Okay, so Irina, 1985. So we're going to look. So she's been trying to have a baby
Mhm.
and hasn't been able to have a baby. So let's take a look. Okay, so right away we see like Arena. She is connected to the right now the Egyptian timeline is trying to help her and work with her. So she's really good with alchemy, transforming matter to energy. So she's kind of has that divinity of transformation. That's her in her heart she's able to do that. And the Egyptian timeline is stepping forward in order to help her actualize that. So um, she has that power, and that power is earned. So she has done that in other time spaces, but we're going to say that Egyptian, you don't have to believe in past lives, but we're just going to say in another time space, which is the Egyptian timeline. So she was able to really um, transform and transmute matter to energy. So, so when we are looking at her and we're looking in terms of like the womb and the body and reproduction and in this time, in this timeline, we're seeing that well, right away, we're seeing that she's not sure. So the way the baby comes through is when you say yes, and maybe it's not even a conscious yes, but so we're just looking, so we're just aligning. Um, so she has like she has power, like, and it's good power. She has power. She has alignment. Um, like, that's earned. She has like she's connected to the divine in a conscious way. So she is aligned and she comes with like a lot of force, we want to say. She's got a lot of power. So, okay, so when we look at her in terms of like having a baby, we want to say that it's always a choice. But what is happening with the body is that there's no space for the baby to come in. So it's not a biology problem, it's a space problem. So, what is space? So, consciousness is spaciousness. And spaciousness means there's an opening. So, in order to receive anything, there needs to be an opening to be able to receive. And so, because she knows how energy works, she knows how to transmute and transform energy. like she has power. Actually, we're saying, she might not know this, but she does know this, but maybe not, maybe she would never tell anybody. But she has power. So we're seeing in her alignment is good. And we're seeing that she has a lot of light in her. Um, so she can see. And so we're looking at, okay, well, the space to receive the baby, we're seeing is connected from another time space. So the the blockage isn't from this time space, it's from another time space. So some people call that past lives, but you don't need to believe in past lives because we know with physics, everything is, especially quantum physics, we know everything is in the now and we know everything is conscious. So is this chair or bench, real? you know, um, anyways, we're not going to get into all of that, but we'll just say that it's from another time space. And so is the other time space willing to release and heal this? It's like a memory. Is the other time space willing to, and this is with consent with Arena, Irina, is that Arena, and her higher self. So this is only in consent with her higher self, so through the heart. So we're looking at another time space. Um, So we want to say to the baby of the other time space that it is safe and that everything that has happened has already happened and that the baby is loved and that the baby can let go. So it's like in another time space, kind of the baby, well, we won't get into the details because they don't matter, but she can always ask another time privately, but the the baby is stuck in another time space. And so we're just letting the baby know that that there's support now, there's consciousness, the divine is here, consciousness is here. Um, Irina's higher self is here, and the baby's higher self is here, so that the baby, what we're saying to the baby is that the baby can let go. It doesn't have to be stuck anymore. So like it's like the baby of another time space got confused and stuck. It's usually from something, like a tragedy. So we're saying to the baby that I know this is kind of way out there, but we're saying to the baby, because this is energy work, you can kind of think of it like a story, like an existential story. We're saying to the baby that, you're loved and that you're precious and that we see you and that you can let go now, that we have you. All the safety is here, all the protection is here, the golden light from source is here, divine presence is here, and and then and that you can let go. So we're just helping the baby kind of acclimatize to the information and our presence. So it's a lot of light. So usually when you're stuck in a time space, it doesn't have much light. It usually looks quite dark. So, they always say, oh, it's the white light, but we know on Earth it's a false white light. Just like there's false grids and false white light, without getting into the details. But anyways, the baby got kind of stuck and it got stuck in a false light situation. And so we're saying to the baby, like, this is the golden light from source. You've got your higher self here. So the babies, even the babies, all beings have their higher self, so their higher consciousness. And a baby might be in a little body, but the baby has its divine soul. So we're talking basically to the divine soul of the baby. And we're just saying to the baby, this is in another time space, this is in the present life. And we're just saying to the divine soul of the baby that you can let go now and that we're here and that we see you and that you're loved and that you're precious. And if you choose, you can release and not be stuck in this time space. So, and just letting go. So the baby said yes, because of course, why would you want to remain stuck? Even, a baby might have a small body, but the baby, has a soul, a divine soul. So the baby said yes. And it's actually easier for us to work with babies because they're so close to consciousness, because they don't have all that conditioning, laid on top of them. So let's just call it the divine baby, the divine baby that has their divine soul. Now we're bringing them into alignment so that release them from another time space and then just bringing them into the now. And then it's basically up to, um, you know, it's up to the mother and the father to say yes to the baby. So that's actually quite uh, an exquisite process that just happened. So we're basically brought them into alignment together, and then just for her to know that she is powerful, not in the negative way. She's powerful in terms of the divine. So she's in divine alignment, and she's an alchemist, and the Egyptian timeline has stepped forward to help her activate even more gifts. She is gifted, but she's going to activate even more of her gifts. This is all earned. This is all things she's learned and mastered, and then now they're available since we're connecting with Gaia's crystalline grid. More activations are happening, and then more gifts are available to bring into this time space. So we're anchoring that into the crystalline grid, and then we're also the divine baby has been freed from another time space, and so then it is free now, so that she can choose without any restrictions now. So we're just going to bring in golden white light. No, we want to get away from the white light because it's like a mix of gold and white light, even like platinum light. It's like a spinning, it's like a spiral. And there's a clearing right now. So right now we're using sound, so that in the distance there's like there was like an ambulance sound. So we're always using all the sounds. So sound frequency can do a really quick clearing. So we just brought that in and cleared. It was for the third eye, actually. So, and then we're just checking alignment. So we're just going to bring source, which is divine presence, and golden light, and then just put that golden light around Arena and the little family and partner, that all of them. We're just going to put that. So you have an individual golden source bubble, but you also can have it, as a family. So we're just going to do that, and then just anchor everybody into the crystalline grid, because then you can manifest very quickly. So she can just say, I'm, if it's for the highest and greatest good, this is what I want. If it's for the highest and greatest good for all, this is what I want. So we're always working with consciousness. We're always working for the highest and greatest good for all. And then you don't get any involved in anybody's karma. You don't have to get into any of those details. You can just go. We're always going from the simplest, fastest pathway through, which is always through source, your higher self, and through the heart. So right away we saw that there's a little bit of work kind of happening from the other time space that they're still kind of clearing, but that is the main thing is done, and then the little, what we call like the debris or the after effects, are just going to get cleared up by the team. So the teams of light, of unconditional love. So what we call the eternal living light. Okay. So just anchoring it. and then grounding them down and right with the root to the crystalline grid. And then that helps everybody feel very secure and very like confident there. So then they make sure they're making decisions from their heart. So we're just going to close the whole family and Irina, we're going to close them all up. And with the source golden light, and then just kind of close them up and then just close the door basically and thank them for coming forward. And then just release them to their highest and greatest good. So just cleared. Fast way is through the breath. So thank you. Okay, I think we're ready. I'm just making sure the whole space is clear. Good. Okay, so yeah, we're ready for the next question.
Next question is, what do you see as the main focus for me in the coming months, or maybe in new 2026 year? Katerina, 1995.
Katrina, 1995. Is that what you
Mm-hmm.
said? Yeah, Katrina, 1995. So what's coming up for 2026? So what's coming around the corner, but very, very close to around the corner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where should be her focus?
Okay. So what should
Yeah.
Katrina's focus be right around the corner for 2026? So we're just looking kind of at everything. So what it looks like to us is like all these different pathways. Um, so we're actually going to go into her book of records. So that's the Akashic records. Um, they're like an energetic library. So we're going to look at what's kind of happening. Let's see. Yeah, she's got a lot going on. Like she has a lot. She's like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And we're looking at all of them and we're like, yeah, you could. Yes, you could. You could. You could. So she doesn't have to worry so much about her decisions. Like we're seeing there's so many pathways for her to choose from, and she has the talent to step into any of them. It just depends on would she enjoy it. I think that that has been the problem is not her talent, but her joy. Like, would she feel joyful? Um, she has felt joyful for sure for the things that she's accomplished. Um, but she's stuck. Okay, why is she stuck? So she's stuck. So again, we're seeing like a bicycle wheel with like a stick in it or a cog, in the wheel. So it's like stuck. So why is the flow stuck? Um, and we're saying it's the thinking again. It's so what it looks like to us, the mind, it's like a rectangular box, and it's like, with a pencil and you're doing all these little like scribbles. That's what the mind looks like. So many of us were making answers from that rectangular box with all the scribbles, and you're not going to get anywhere except for scribbles. Okay, that's the mind. So the mind is actually a very little bit part of the human consciousness, the human being. So the human being is a being of consciousness. And that little rectangular box of the mind, you can call it the conscious mind or the ego, it's like scribbles. And it's like, it's very agitating to the nervous system because it doesn't stop talking, and it doesn't stop talking in a negative way. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, you should have done this. Oh, why'd you do that? It's always questions, 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 but with no solutions. So we're going to just take that and just like it's really intense. Like it's like really intense. So we're just going to say right now, like with her higher self, we want to just take it and put it to the side and just feel what it feels like to have that spaciousness. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to feel like. It's supposed to, not supposed to, but it can, the original design, the original blueprint of the human being is to have consciousness running through the body. So from the nervous system, from all the systems, from the cells, from the body, and then having that source connection through the heart, the divine. And then basically then all systems are a go. So when you see people and their eyes are very lit up, like they have a lot of light in their eyes, that means their consciousness is is clear, like is working, is flowing. They're in that flow state. So she knows the flow state. She loves the flow state, but how to get that flow state without physical exertion. So when she's in the rest state, the mind takes over, right? When she's in action, she's in the flow state. So she likes the action because she likes the flow state. So, how to get the flow state, which is all of your consciousness moving through your body. So, how does she get her full consciousness moving through her body when she's not in activity, when she's not in action? Right? Because what if you have an injury, or something, and you can't be in, if you've used exertion to get into the flow state, like Eckhart Tolle would say, another word for the flow state is presence. The deep I, he calls, not the higher self, because he says, because as soon as you say higher self, everybody pops out of their bodies. This is an embodied, deep through the heart. Consciousness is throughout the whole body. And the body is like the instrument. The body's like the violin. The body's like the most expensive piano. Like the body is like the house for the consciousness. But the body, we're so hard on the body, I look like this, I should have this, you know, the body is a beautiful instrument that can house consciousness, which is incredible. So the mind comes on, and then the mind confuses the body, but the body knows the flow state and knows how to be in presence and consciousness because it is the natural state. So the interference is with the mind. So we're just going to take it. It's like a rectangular box with all these scribbles. And we're going to take it and then put it kind of, well, it didn't work to put it aside because it just came right back. So what we're going to do is maybe like turn down the volume. We're just going to turn down the volume. So she can do that. She can just be like, right now, I just want to turn down the volume. I don't want to think. I want to like connect with my heart. And there, right away, she released. She had a release right again. Okay, so the answers are through the heart. This isn't like romantic love. This is consciousness. Consciousness is through the heart. So connecting through the heart. Okay, so the question was, what's around the corner? Well, we can't see when we look through like when we look through, we can't see around the corner through her eyes. We can't see around the corner because the conscious mind is blocking. So we can't see. So which means she can't see. So we're saying it didn't work to put the conscious mind aside because there's too much attachment. So okay, this is big work, right? The people work their whole human being life for this, to be able to turn down the volume of the conscious mind and then awaken the consciousness in the body. But she knows this because she has spent a lot of her life in the flow state through action. So she she has like a physical power to her, but now we want her to have that same power with consciousness. So she's making decisions with her whole being consciously without having to do action, right? Because lots of times when we have to answer questions, we can't go and, I don't know, go on a run or whatever to feel that adrenaline. Um, so, how to get those answers through consciousness, through the heart, and connect to that flow state, which athletes all love. That's why they climb mountains. That's why they, you know, Eckhart would say that. He would say, you don't have to climb a mountain to experience consciousness, you know. But it's almost like when you're at that, when you're climbing a mountain with your hands, so you're rock climbing, you have to be fully present in the now because every handhold matters, every foot placement matters. And so that's very focused attention. And so people love doing those things because they love the focused attention. But what happens if something happens and you don't have that same physical opportunity? You get older. So, um, or not older, some people are old and still rock climb. That's not about age, but say something happens but it's another way of your higher self or the deep I to teach you about consciousness without physical exertion. That's what we'll say. So, so we're seeing that she has a lot of talent. So there's lots of, when we look in her records, she has lots of ways that she can go in her life. But what has been holding her back is that conscious mind. So we want to, so what we heard is actually a door just closed. So in the atmosphere, in the environment, a door just closed. So we want to just close the door to the conscious mind and then just open. And then we heard like an opening of the blinds. And we just want to open her consciousness so that she has more access to her consciousness. And then so imagine that, just close the door on the conscious mind, just say, yep, right now, just closing the door. And then just open the window through the heart, open the curtains through the heart. She'll understand this. And then you're receiving the answers from that place. And this will create a huge shift because what if, she's got to answer something and it's like in the middle of the night? You can't just call somebody and say, oh, I need an answer to this question, right? We want everyone to be able to do this for themselves. But how to, the body is like an instrument, how to get the body, kind of the mind, spirit, all like in tune. So we're turning down the volume of the conscious mind because as soon as she's not in activity, the conscious mind is like the loudest, the conscious mind takes over because she doesn't allow it when she's in physical activity. She's very focused. She's like super focused, like we're seeing like laser focused, like she's in alignment, she's receiving information, she's following her gut instinct, her intuition, and she's one with the wind, she's one with nature. But as soon as that isn't happening, the conscious mind then takes over 90%, so in her flow state is like 10%. So she's like, what happened? Well, that's what happened. So, but we want even in her rest state, and you can do it in your rest state. So we want her in her rest state to connect through her heart, which will connect her to consciousness and the flow state, which is what she has loved and has practiced her whole life. So we're saying that she can do it without activity. So we had three things where we put the conscious mind to the side. It didn't work. We turned the volume down to the conscious mind and it didn't work. And then we just imagined a door and she can actually get a door and then physically close a door and say, I'm closing the door to the conscious mind right now. and just practice, 5 minutes. I'm closing the door to the conscious mind, and I'm only going to sit with my heart, connect to the flow state, and connect with consciousness and the divine. And just do it for 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. And just physically actually get a door and then physically close the door. You don't have to slam it. You don't have to make you don't have to make noise. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but just close the door as a symbol. I'm closing this door, which means I'm closing the door to the conscious mind because I'm going into the heart and I want to connect with my higher self, consciousness, the divine. So, and then she'll be able to access that flow state on her own anytime, and then be able to kind of even connect with her own records, her own account, because they're hers. It's all the things she's accomplished. It's all things anyone has accomplished. So it seems unreal that everything is documented in like an energetic library, but it is, because all of this is experiences for consciousness. And she's a master of consciousness in the flow state. And so now we're saying, okay, now be a master in consciousness in the still state, in the not moving your body state, if she chooses. But, the conscious mind will take you into these unbelievable anxiety ridden, fear based places from the time your head hits the pillow till like 3 a.m. So she'll have all these nightmares and anxiety and all these anxiety. And what's anxiety? Fear and guilt and shame, and I should have done this and I could have done this, and why didn't this happen, and I don't know, should I change this? That's the conscious mind. So it takes you on this crazy road every time your head hits the pillow till about 3 a.m. And then around 3 a.m. the higher self says, okay, enough, we're stepping in, we got to do some work here. And then the conscious mind always will listen to the higher self. Okay, the higher self is always first. Consciousness is always first. The divine is always first, always first. So it seems like opposite on earth that the conscious mind is first. It's not. So once you ask a question, your higher self will come through first. So we're saying for her now, the practice is to practice this, shut the door, and practice consciousness in a still state. And then as soon as she does that, her nervous system is going to feel aligned. And that flow state that she loves, she can be on the train and be in the flow state. She can be on the airplane and be in the flow state. Everybody else is chattering, oh, this, that, the food, blah, 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 whatever the conscious mind is saying. And she's closed the door to the conscious mind and she's connected to her heart and connected to the flow state. And so if she does that, she's going to feel really good all the time. So let's say she's done that, and then what happens? So she's going to feel instant release off her back and her shoulders. There's lots of tension in the left shoulder, which is another time space. So we're just going to clear that for her. Again, some people call that past life, but you don't have to believe in past lives because we know everything is all in the now. So we're just clearing the shoulder. It's like a restriction. Sometimes the body, so what we're seeing is what happened is like the conscious mind is so busy and so overwhelming that the body will say, I'll take the hit. This is making you crazy. Let me help. And then you get this shoulder pain or these weird body pains or unexplainable body pains. We're seeing them like tracks, so because it's like the conscious mind is like sending out all these signals and the body's like, oh, vibrating and trying to like stabilize all this kind of information that comes from the conscious mind. So the body's there to help, and She has a strong body. She's she's a lot of power in her. And so now we want that power to be there in a still state if she chooses. But we think she will. Once she knows how to do this, she'll feel a lot of relief. So we're still releasing the left arm. So we're just going to work with the left arm and we're releasing the left arm and just shaking it off. It was triggered from something in this life, but it is a memory from a past life or another time space. So, and we're just gonna clear her eyes. So it did bring her a lot of sadness, so we're just gonna clear it. So, oh boy. It's not funny, but it's like a lot, it's a lot of sadness. So we're seeing it's like a whirlwind. Um, So we're just going to send again the golden light from source, from consciousness, from the divine. So that is the unconditional love. So a love with no conditions, which means there's no siphoning, there's no false light. It's very important to have that distinction now. I mean, everything is for the highest and best good for all, which means then no karma is accumulated. And all healings are to the root cause because their energy releases. It's stuck energy. So we're just clearing her arm. So it's quite what we want to say is it feels embedded and very stuck. So it doesn't have much movement. So we're just clearing her left arm. So we're just clearing, clearing, clearing. So yeah, these can seem like funny answers when you ask what's around the corner, and then we're clearing your left shoulder. But we're always looking for the root cause, and we're looking at the whole energetic system of consciousness in the body. So we want to see, where's the alignment, what, for us, when something is stuck, it looks like a black ball or something like a black ball. Like there's not much light in it. It's like stuck. So, and then we're always looking for the light consciousness, like the systems. So we're still releasing the left arm. So it's a lot is stuck in that left arm. So we're going to say it's like unprocessed emotion. It's all the fear, because it's almost like it was like life and death. Like if I can't do physical activity or if I can't do what I'm doing, then I can't do anything. So it created this helplessness. So we're just opening the pathway. We're just opening the pathway and just saying, that there's help here, that it can be released and it doesn't have to stay stuck, and that there's options. So once you feel like you can, once she feels she can connect to that flow state that she loves so much, sitting on an airplane, it's going to make her feel free, you know, because it's not connected to a person or an activity. It's it's her own consciousness, her own being. We're just releasing the left shoulder, and the third eye is actually helping in doing the releasing the head, the crown, and the nervous system, and then getting, of course, we always want to go into the flow state of alignment, but without activity. So just being in the flow state, just in a regular time. I'm on the bus and I'm in my flow state or the flow state. I'm with consciousness. I'm taking the train. I'm with consciousness. And we see a lot of tracks. Like she can travel a lot if she wants. We see a lot of tracks for her. So she can travel, and and her intuition now will feel like once she closes the door to the conscious mind, her intuition is very strong because she has connected to her inner body and consciousness for that flow state for most of her life. So her intuition is on fire, like a good fire, like it's on. So this was the problem, was the conscious mind. So just close the door to the conscious mind. And then even in her stillness, even in her just going for a walk, doing something like grocery shopping, she's in her flow state with consciousness. Like you can go grocery shopping in the flow state with consciousness, and just be conscious. And that's all Eckhart Tolle's work with being in the now and connecting to that still point, connecting to consciousness. So they're still working on her left shoulder. So we're just going to look at it right now. Um, and they're like healing teams, but they're healing teams that are connected to her. So they're coming through her, her team, but they're a team of unconditional love. So they're not there as like, false guides or false. There's nothing false when it's unconditional love. There's nothing false when it's consciousness. So the mind is what creates all of that false falseness, but the mind is always me, 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 me. What do I get well, well. So anyways, we're just going to clear that. Just maybe clear that a bit more and see if that helps the shoulder and the arm. So, but it's from the shoulder. It feels like there's like a disconnection because she felt like if, she can't physically get in the flow state, then how is she going to live basically? So we're saying you can, it's only a shift but you already have it in your body, like a master. You already have mastered this in the body, but in the physical, in movement. But now we're saying, okay, now if you choose to do it in stillness and the body's a bit agitated, it's a big release. So what we're going to say is we're going to keep like a band-aid, but it's going to be a golden band-aid, and we're going to put a golden band-aid on her, and then her teams will of, of unconditional love will keep working with her. So, but the more she practices that, just close the door to the conscious mind and then connect with her heart and then go deep into her heart and then go into the stillness. And that's the flow state. That's the flow state without movement. But you can move, but let's try it. And there's just some releases that came through for her. Yeah, there's more work there. Yeah, but we're going to just say that her teams will continue working with her. And the more she goes into the still point of consciousness through the heart and then to the divine, to source, and then aligning. Okay. So in terms of like what's around the corner, we're saying this would be a really great opportunity to do this now. And then all the different tracks that she has available to her um, will become more crystal clear. But let's try to heal this shoulder, the left shoulder, and then try going into closing the door to the conscious mind and then getting into the still point through the heart to consciousness to feel the flow state in a still state. And so again, we'll put like a source golden bubble around. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So yeah, we're going to close that up. So thank you. Closing the doors. So we'll close the doors and just let her be with the healing teams, like her own healing teams, her own inner healer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Elaine,
Where
for
are we at?
for beautiful channeling. Thank you for for all healing that you bring to girls. And yeah, let's wait. What on the corner? What will?
Yeah, we'll wait and see what's around the corner. I totally lost track of time. I don't know. But anyways, that's what we happen. We go into the field to get these answers, and we never know really what answers are going to come through, but they're always for your highest and greatest good. And they're always looking at the bigger picture, the overview. And I always get these little angel cards before any sessions, and the angel cards we got for this session were peace. And it's like an angel, but it's an angel of unconditional love, laying against a tree. And we love the trees and the consciousness with trees. And then this is kind of like the new wave that's coming in for 2026. So it's good that one of the questions was asking about 2026, and it's trust. So it's just like an angel of unconditional love and kind of bowing down, feeding a unicorn. And we're moving into the year of the horse. And so the unicorns are stepping forward. I have met a couple of people that their higher selves are unicorns. So they're goddesses and they have unicorns. So it's happening. You have to have a lot of consciousness and a lot of light for them to be able to activate now. But now that we're connecting with Gaia, and the crystalline grid, these higher dimensional beings of unconditional love can come through. And then they're saying, release, and they're seeing a school bus and they're saying goodbye to the school bus. So, you know, a lot of it's not about accumulating more knowledge. It's a lot of connecting and then letting go. And then what we opened up, this is with Kuan Yin, and we opened up the universal gateway. So this is what Kuan Yin looks like. She's holding a lotus flower. So she's the goddess of, well, she was a divine feminine, and she opened up compassion and anchored compassion on earth. And she just says that this is the path to freedom and fulfillment, and that we don't need to labor alone. And that's why, Eve and I are doing this together, because the sessions are called Seer and Source Channel. So we're channeling from source, and because it's a lot easier to do things as a team. So you can book with us through my website, elainearsons.com, and the sessions will be called Seer and Source Channel with Eve and Elaine. And we'll also be doing some lives together so that people can get some information and get some questions answered, if they want. So that's kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah, so we ask you to text some questions under this video. Yeah, and we will discuss about your question later in our online sessions.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Okay, so we'll see you in the next one. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elaine. Thank you, girls, for questions, and see you later.
Yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.